historical independence of Tibet. And last year, the United States passed a resolution saying McMahon Line is India's border. You see, all these things are coming up. And another point, at the moment, India's position is that Tibet Autonomous Region is a part of People's Republic of China. What it means is that India recognizes not the Tibet as part of China, but Tibet Autonomous Region. So Tibet Autonomous Region was created in 1965 as an administrative body within China's occupied Tibet. So, which would mean India is saying not entire Tibet, but Tibet Autonomous Region is part of People's Republic of China, and therefore also saying that the People's Republic of China is what India recognizes, not China. Because People's Republic of China got created in 1949. So we need to see all these references. And therefore, as an activist, I have continued to say that India must today recognize Tibet as an occupied country. Only then India can validate that Arunachal Pradesh is part of India, because this was the signature that Tibet meant with British Empire. So therefore, India must also take these responsibilities. There was a point of time where India started its relationship with China by saying Hindi chini bhai bhai. And that's the main reason why Tibet was completely neglected, ignored. Because India of that time, in 1954, when the Panchsheel was signed, India at that time felt that India was going to be forever good friends with China. There was this great romanticism about the communist revolution in China. There was this point at one point there was this idealism about the communist revolution in China. And then in 1962, China surprised India in such a disastrous manner. And since then, you see, there was no discussion, talk about Tibet in India. Look at all the Indian textbooks. None of the Indian textbooks talk about Tibet. Indian textbooks, we also studied in CBSE. There were mention of all India's neighboring countries, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Pakistan, Afghanistan. But where is the mention of Tibet? India has censored Tibet for 65 years. I am saying this. And therefore, Indian youngsters today do not know what is there across the Himalayan border. Indian youngsters do not know. And if Indian youngsters do not know what is there across the Indian borders, how are Indian youth going to face China? They do not know what is the language across the Himalayas. Who are the people? What is their history? What do they eat? What do they dress? What is their history with people in the Himalayas? Indian youngsters do not know. Because Tibet has been censored. I am raising a very critical question. Therefore, because of the Galwan Valley, suddenly there was a need to educate Tibet in India. But policy couldn't be changed immediately. So what India is doing is, India created a crash course for Indian army to know what is there across the Himalayas. Last year, 40 Indian army officers came to Dharamshala to study Tibetan language, culture, history, mythology, and food and customs, so that they could deal with the people across the borders. Of course, you can do this crash course for 40 Indian army officers, but what about the Indian youth who have no idea what lies across the borders? Therefore, Therefore, I felt it is so very important, and I cannot wait for government of India to change a policy. Therefore, I am traveling every single day in India and speaking in Indian colleges and universities and doing this presentation, which I'm going to do now. Today, this presentation that I'm going to do is the second time. I just did a presentation at the St. Joseph's College, full of a class full of students. Almost about 200 students paid attention on this for 2 hours. And I've done that 75 times all across the country. Therefore, it's important. But what are we as Tibetans? What are we doing? What are we doing? We need to do much more than all the speaking we do on the mobile phone. What's the point? What's the point? So this is what I wanted to say here in English, and if there is anything that could be understood, this is what I wanted to speak here. Before the projector comes, I want to say one or two things in Tibetan.